I would like to know that we are going to move forward, though. The discussion has been opened, and from what I hear, everybody wants to work on it. So before we leave tonight, we need to discuss what our next step is. And if you want to have...
Excuse me a second. Remind me to address the landfill situation.
And if you want to have a strategic leader, fine. If you want to have another meeting and look at what is available for funding and what we have to work with. If you want to continue having everybody come in here and fight for their piece of the land, and give us some direction. What do you want to do? Where are we going to go with this?
Well, you know, I think trying to tackle all this stuff at 2 meetings a month isn't. I mean, we're going to have some special council meetings to get some more discussion on this.
Are you ready? Are you open for a community
Absolutely.
visioning again?
Yes.
Are you going to have another one of those big meetings and have people come in and do some visioning?
Didn't we do that once with Tim Fields?
It's been like, either 2 or 3 years ago alone. We broke into committees and went after everything.
But, I mean, the thing is, I mean, that was a great concept, but not much happened after.
Well, you could make...
My problem with that is we try to have those and nobody comes. That's really disheartening to me because we try to plan those meetings and we ask everybody to come and it ends up
If you only
15
knew
people.
how many people I asked to come to this council meeting tonight, I said, you know what, they really want your input. They're discussing their capital improvements, they want to talk about what their priorities are, and you guys really need to be there because they really want to hear from you. And
so my suggestion would be that there were personal invitations sent to people or phone calls by somebody saying, here, we're not going to have a meeting with the same people for visioning when it's our vision again. You know, we need to have other people involved then. But how are we going to get them there? Spaghetti? I mean...
Food.
Yeah, but you have to personally bring them.
Because
Because this is like, Barb, when we go to the county league meetings where we learn something from every community all the time. We can't even get your whole council and everybody there so they can learn from other communities. So it's no different than anybody. Everybody's got a busy schedule. But unless you personally put them in the car and bring them there, you can't get them there. Especially here, you have to call everybody the day of the meeting to make sure they show up.
Okay, so what is our next step? Please define what your next step is going to be. Bill?
you want to do a community planning meeting so that you guys can have input, so you can set your priorities? Do you already know what your priorities are and you really don't need any input on that?
I don't believe so. I don't. But we can't wait forever because we're into this. We have to have some idea, so we can't just sit on it. It's got to be done.
I think that would be a good start.
Could you do that the next month, and would that help?
Public input.
Pardon me?
If we
Adam,
did
what's
it
the
in the next
deadline here?
30
When
days,
we have
would
to
that
have
be-
this?
I mean, we don't have any requirements in front of us as far as deadlines go until we get into next year.
All right,
So
so
we can work through this year with the exception of the community request. We usually set up that deadline in December for community requests.
okay.
Internal and all
Then
So
I think
we
it'd
want to
be
plan a community planning meeting for November?
before the roads get bad and it gets really cold, because then you really won't get anybody there.
Well, are you interested in hiring somebody to facilitate, or you want to see if you can get somebody cheaper?
I think we should try to do it within a reasonable amount of money. Maybe contact the League of Cities and see if they have somebody that, and I'll take that upon myself to contact them if you want me to, and see if they have anybody
See
that
what their
would
schedule
come.
is.
I'll help plan the facility and whatever we need to do to put it together.
And I think it might be okay to have somebody go to each one of the business meetings, like for instance Kiwanis and Lions and Watani and whatever, and invite the people to come and tell them what it's about and see if we can't get people to come.
that. Do a program for it.
Right.
That's all we're gonna
It wouldn't hurt to have food.
I mean,
Really, that's what
Even
draws.
they'll come. We can make chili.
we could. I mean, I'll help make food because there won't be that many people, but we will have something to eat.
Bread.
We're going to burn just a little bit by the time we get to the next one.
So I guess I will, is it all right with you
Facilitator
if
available and.
Laura and I work on a date?
I'll be happy to talk to groups once we get
Okay,
some planning in place.
okay,
What's a good night, what night's the basketball?
yeah,
Well, I think if we
Let's
hit
try to get that
November, we
done
should be able
before.
to,
yeah,
We gotta get it done.
November,
first part of November.
yes,
I don't see
like,
why we couldn't.
like I'm talking like the first week of November. And Wednesday night's probably not a good night, because it's in church.
Thursday.
Thursday
Could we
is
do
their
it that Monday
volleyball.
night, maybe? Because the second and third I'll be gone to Dubuque for our mandatory.
Are there any,
training.
are there ball games
First
on Monday
Monday.
night?
I have no idea.
It would be
The first Monday
Sandy?
of the month would be November
Usually
1st.
We do the first couple of weeks of November, we'll take the B and B too, and then.
Okay, let's, that, she said if we go the first couple weeks in November, we're between seasons. So how about if we do the first Monday in November?
Well, November
Find
1st.
out what they're planning on.
Okay, all right,
Can you get somebody to line up the
yes.
2 weeks, that's pretty first.
Well,
Start with the League of Cities and go to Region 12.
right, they're pretty
I think Veterans
cooperative.
Service would have something too, maybe.
Right,
And Region 12 does too. I mean, there's other
Well,
options.
that's 3 weeks out.
yeah, I think,
Should be able to get it.
let's think positive, we'll find somebody, okay?
And you won't have to get all the last minute politicians.
Right, and
That's right. That's
that,
the voting day.
be an expert, and if they're 30 miles away, they're an expert, and that really is probably a good idea.
Just somebody that can facilitate all.
Okay,
And maybe even somebody from that leadership.
right,
Might be an
that,
option.
he said there were people available, so I'll call there too. Now, you want